We will now go over the last cluster C, personality disorders. And the first one that we are going to talk about today is avoidant personality disorder. As per the DSM-5-TR text revision, this is defined as a pattern of social inhibition of feelings of inadequacy, hypersensitivity to negative evaluation and criticism that starts typically beginning of adulthood, and this is present in a variety of contexts, and this is manifested by 4 or more of the following symptoms. So the first symptom is these individuals tend to avoid occupational activities that involve significant interpersonal contact because they fear to be criticized or disapproved or rejected. Secondly, they're unwilling to get involved with people unless they are sure that they will be liked and accepted. They show restraint when it comes to intimate relationships because they fear being shamed or ridiculed. They're completely preoccupied with being criticized or rejected in social situations. They are inhibited in new interpersonal situations because of their inner feelings of inadequacy. They have views of self as socially inept and personally unappealing or inferior to other people. And lastly, they're usually reluctant to take personal risks to engage with new activities because they're afraid of embarrassing themselves. So, in summary, individuals with avoidant personality disorder avoid work activities that involve significant personal contact because they're afraid of being rejected. Offers of job promotions may be declined because they fail to manage the new responsibilities because they fear that they're going to fail to manage the new responsibilities and that they may face criticism from coworkers. These individuals also fail to make friends unless that they are certain that they're going to be accepted without any criticism. They typically find themselves shying away from intimate relationships as well, because they're as well again afraid of being exposed, ridiculed, rejected. They feel shame within themselves and they may act with restraint. They may be reluctant to talk about themselves and withhold intimate feelings or fears because they are afraid of being exposed or shamed. Individuals with this disorder are preoccupied with criticism, rejection in social situations, and this is the reason why they kind of detach themselves from such situations. If someone is even slightly disapproving or critical to them, they may feel extremely hurt. They are very insensitive and they tend to be very shy, quiet, and inhibited, and a little bit invisible because they fear that any attention they draw to themselves could be wrong, or that they can also face rejection and criticism.
Is avoidant personality disorder. In the Diagnostic and Statistical Manual of Mental Disorders, avoidant personality disorder is characterized by patterns of social withdrawal, inadequacy, and fear of criticism. Fear of criticism. A person with APD may completely avoid socializing with others or only socialize if they know that the people there like them. This is because of their fear of rejection. For example, they may purposely avoid group meetings with their coworkers because of their fear of being judged and criticized. They want to ensure that there is no possible way that they'll ever experience something negative from others. Furthermore, they may be scared of intimate relationships with others as well. You're probably wondering, what causes a person to fear rejection so much to the point where they withdraw from social contact and avoid intimate relationships? Well, another critical aspect of avoidant personality disorder is inadequacy. This can be described as feelings of low self-esteem. They may doubt themselves constantly, especially in social situations, and see themselves as inferior to others. These feelings of inadequacy may be so extreme to the point that they completely withdraw themselves from intimate relationships and social situations. Social withdrawal. Due to their fear of criticism and feelings of inadequacy, People with an avoidant personality disorder may withdraw completely from social situations. Their social withdrawal allows them to lessen their fear of rejection as well as to avoid situations where they feel worse about their inadequacy. Someone with APD may seem instead to only be shy, timid, or lonely. It's important to distinguish having these traits versus having this personality disorder. This is why it's especially important you remember that determining whether a person meets the criteria is the responsibility of a mental health professional. You should not try to diagnose yourself or someone else. Did you find this video insightful? What other personality disorders would you like to learn more from us? Let us know your thoughts in the comments below. We hope this video helped shed some light on avoidant personality disorder. If you found this video helpful, be sure to like and share this video with those who might benefit from it. Don't forget to subscribe to Psych2Go for more psychology content. If you want to support Psych2Go, check out our Patreon. The link is in the description below. Thanks for watching, and we'll see you in our next video.
And then now we will move over to the next cluster C personality disorder, which is dependent personality disorder. This is defined under the DSM-5 text revision as a pervasive and excessive need to be taken care of that leads to being submissive and clingy and fearing separation. And this starts in the early adulthood, and it is indicated by 5 or more of the following symptoms. The person has difficulty making day-to-day decisions without excessive amounts of advice and reassurance from other people. They need to assume responsibility. They need others rather to assume responsibility over the major aspects of their life. They have difficulty expressing disagreement with others because they fear the loss of support or approval. They have difficulty initiating projects or doing things on their own because they lack self-confidence and fear judgment. They go to excessive lengths to obtain nurturance and support from other people to the point of volunteering to do things that are unpleasant in order to gain, acceptance. They feel uncomfortable or helpless when they're alone because they have this exaggerated fear that they can't take care of themselves. There's an urgent need for them to find themselves in another relationship. They urgently seek relationships as a source of care and support when close friendships or relationships end. So if one friendship ends, they quickly find themselves attached to another person, into another relationship, even when it comes to intimate relationships. And they are unrealistically preoccupied with fear of being left to take care of themselves. So the essential feature of dependent personality disorder is the excessive need to be taken care of. As I mentioned, that they present with clingy behavior. They have an unrealistic fear of being abandoned.
What are the signs of dependent personality disorder? The dependent personality disorder patient will see themselves as incapable of making decisions or doing anything independently in their lives on their own. And if they are forced to do it, they will see themselves as doing a bad job of it. So it can get as ridiculous as they need help deciding what to wear in the morning. They just have absolutely no confidence in themselves. They will endure unpleasant, unsavory things to keep the dependee happy. So, they'll see movies they don't want to see. They'll eat food they hate. They will do almost anything to make sure the person they're dependent on stays with them. And you'll see a lot of anxious, frantic behavior if they think for whatever reason that the person on whom they're dependent is going to leave.
So we are going to go through obsessive-compulsive personality disorder now. And under the DSM-5 TR revision, this is defined as a pervasive pattern of preoccupation with orderliness, perfectionism, mental and interpersonal control at the expense of the individual's flexibility, efficiency, openness, and functionality. This also starts in early adulthood, and this is indicated by 4 or more of the following symptoms. Individuals with this personality disorder are preoccupied with details. They are preoccupied with rules, with lists, with order, organizations, and schedules, to the extent that major points of the activity are lost. They show perfectionism that affects task completion, meaning that they may start projects but fail to complete and finish projects because of their own strict standards that are not being met. They have a excessive devotion to work and productivity, to the exclusion of leisure activities and friendships. So they typically are hard workers. They are over, devoted. They're too devoted to work, and they don't have a sense of balance of work life type of balance and friendships. So, and also they are over conscientious and very scrupulous and inflexible when it comes to matters of morals, morality, our ethics or values that we are raised with, and these that are not accounted by cultural or religious identification. They are unable to throw away worthless objects that have no sentimental value, so kind of like hoarding. They have a reluctancy to delegate tasks or to work with other people unless they do things exactly the way that they want them to do them. They also have this idea that money is viewed as something that needs to be hoarded for future problems or catastrophes. So they are very cheap when it comes to saving. They are very strict when it comes to saving money, rather. They are very rigid and very stubborn. In summary, individuals with obsessive-compulsive disorder attempt to maintain a sense of control through the painstaking attention to rules, to trivial small details, procedures, lists, schedules, or form of, to the extent that major points of an activity are lost. They may be excessively careful and prone to repetition and paying extraordinary attention to detail, and repeatedly checking things for mistakes, losing track of time in the process of doing that. For example, when such individuals misplace a list of things to be done, they will spend an inordinate amount of time looking for the list rather than spending a few moments trying to either recreate the list from memory and then proceeding to accomplishing the tasks.
I'd like to ask you a little bit about your emotional life, feelings that you have, or how you feel about feelings and things. Just from the little that you told me over the phone.
Well, seems like I have a problem. There's a certain structured way that I have to approach everything if I'm going to keep myself at the position that I'm at.
So what happens to you if some of the stuff you told me about, feelings come up? Do you?
It becomes a motivating force.
Thank you so much for your time and your patience. Please reach out to me. Feel free to reach out to me on my email address. I'm gonna put it on the slide, as well as on my LinkedIn. Please watch this video on my YouTube channel and like and subscribe and comment. As I mentioned all the time on all my videos, I do appreciate having conversations with you guys, and sharing thoughts and opinions. So I'm going to leave it here for today. Thank you so much for paying attention. If you need to reach out to me, please feel free to do so. And goodbye. I will see you in the next segment. Take care. Goodbye.